Good morning, boys and girls and Grace Lutheran family. It's Mrs. Balmer here. I'm coming to you today to talk to you about your fourth lesson in your packet that went home. The lesson topic is oceans. Do you remember when you talked about creation a little while ago in preschool, where we talked about on the third day God created the seas? And then a couple of days later, he created all the animals in the sea. Well, today we're going to talk about a few of those animals as we learn a few things about the ocean. I brought a globe today for us to look at. The globe, all the blue parts on the globe, show us how much water covers our earth. If you look at that, you can see that most of our earth is made up of water. And in that water, there are all kinds of animals, from great big to little bitty to fast to slow. We're going to learn about a few of those animals today. Have any of you all ever been to the beach on vacation? Did you like it? Were you scared of the water? Would you go again? Would you not go again? Mrs. Balmer loves going to the beach. I love putting my toes in the sand and the water, and I love looking for little animals. But I have to admit, I'm a little scared sometimes too because of the sharks and the big things in the ocean. Today we're going to read this book that's titled Ocean Adventure. The book is by Tony Minton and Aunt Parker, and we're going to learn about a few animals that's in our ocean. Come along and join me. Ocean Adventure by Tony Minton and Aunt Parker. The North Pacific Ocean is vast and dark and deep. It's home to many creatures that swim and float and creep. Here's a giant octopus. Before you chase it, think. It squirts whatever bothers it with brown and cloudy ink. See that ink coming out? And those scuba guys, they look a little scared. Basking sharks drift along. That's the way they feed. Small creatures glide into their mouths to give them what they need. Do you see all those tiny fish swimming along? I wonder how many fish it takes to fill up that big shark's tummy. A jellyfish swims gently. It seems to sway and swish. Its stinging tentacles are used for stunning fish. The anglerfish are awesome. They dangle bait that is bright. When prey swims up to check it out, they wait and then they bite. Do you see that anglerfish and that bright bait that he's dangling? A giant squid looks scary. It stares with googly eyes. To meet a giant squid could give you quite a big surprise. Look how big that squid is and his big googly eye. When you're near a marlin, remember to watch out. It's sometimes called a spearfish because of that sharp snout. Yikes. Sea otters dive for shellfish from kelp beds near the shore. They tuck them in a flap of skin and make a little store. Do you see them tucking that shellfish up under their arm like a little pocket? Dolphins are such friendly creatures. Meet them in the bay. They'll come and swim beside your boat and leap around and play. We've drifted around the ocean to find what there might be. But were you looking carefully? What else did you see? Did you happen to see the gulper eel, or the herring, or the skate, the sea urchin, the porpoise, the hatchetfish, or sea turtle? What about the kelp crab or the tuna? You can go back in the story and see if you can find those animals too. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed our story about Ocean Adventure. Did you learn anything new? you find any animals that you liked? Did you find any animals that were kind of scary? Mrs. Balmer certainly did. I want to share with you my favorite animal. It's the dolphin. Once I went swimming with dolphins. We got to check out their teeth and their mouths. This is one of my girls. She's riding, or the dolphin's giving her a ride. He's swimming back with her. See how her eyes are closed? There was so much water splashing in our faces. And then here's Mrs. Balmer giving a dolphin a kiss. Have you ever given a dolphin a kiss? It was so fun. Share with me if you have any special animals that you like from the sea. All right, we're gonna get moving on with our packet now. So we have some things that we're gonna do in connection with our theme today of ocean, and we're gonna look at our letters and sounds. Mrs. Balmer made a watery sensory packet here for you by putting some hair gel in a bag, and I put a little blue food coloring in there. And what we're gonna do on this is we're gonna work on our letters and our sounds. So what you can do is make any letter that you like. I'm gonna turn it over. So if you wanna practice writing your alphabet, starting with A, you can do uppercase A, lowercase a. Then you might want to sound these out. A and ah. What kind of words do start with these letters that you can think of? Can you think of any ocean animals that might start with those letters? That's kind of hard. What about other words that start with those letters? And be making those sounds. When you want to make a new letter, just erase it. Just rub it on there and erase it. And then we can make another letter. Do you know what that letter is? That's uppercase B and lowercase b. Blue whale. Good job. All right, so maybe you can make one of these for yourself with mom and dad. I use hair gel. You can use anything you want in there. I think shampoo would work, shaving cream, anything inside your bag. And then Mrs. Balmer did add some tape on the top so it won't squish out. So that is our letters and sounds. Okay, we're also gonna work on a little math, and I made another little thing for you to look at here. Our math has a little math mat that I just drew. It's just a rectangle, see that rectangular shape, with 5 rectangles on top and 5 on the bottom. I also made cut up some paper and wrote some numbers on them. So what this game is, you just pull a card and you see number 4. You can find anything around your house that you want to use for counting. If you look over here on my little towel, I found some macaroni noodles that look like shells. I found some little erasers that look like starfish, and I found just some marbles. You can use anything. So we're gonna find our number 4, and then we're gonna go to our math mat, and we're gonna lay out 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. You can choose another number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once you start working with your math mat, you can see that the top row is 5, the second row is 5. When you get that whole thing full, it's 10. So moms and dads, you can help your kids learn to count by 5s, 5, 10. You can draw as many math mats as you want. You can also count by 10s. The whole math mat is 10, 10, 20. So those are kind of fun to use. I also thought it would be fun if we would use our water sensory and our math mat together. I dropped mine on the floor. So when we pick a card, we have 6. We want to put 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want to make sure that we're always going left to right and top to bottom when we're counting. 6, and then down on our sensory page, we can work on writing our number 6. So those are some fun things you can do at home, and it's really simple. You just need a marker and a paper. Super easy. So that was our math. We also have some art and sensory that you can do. And on our lesson suggestion today for art and sensory, it says to draw an underwater picture. So Mrs. Balmer just drew a little ocean picture here with the bottom of the ocean and some fish swimming. And if you have a hard time drawing, you might think about your shapes. I went in here with my black marker and I highlighted some of the shapes in my drawing. I drew ovals and triangles to make fish, stars to make starfish, circles to make sand dollars, and I even put 2 hearts together to make little shells. So you might want to try that. Draw an underwater scene. Be sure to take a picture of that and share it with us if you would like. Okay, one more thing we have. On your paper, it says, go play in the water. Go fill up your bathtub with some water and get in and play. To add droppers and sponges and anything you like. Well, I just filled up a little tub of water here, and I have a few things in here that I can play. So I have a scoop that I can put water through a funnel. See how it goes through. What if I scoop up some animals? Let's see here. I have kind of a small tub. If I scoop up my animals and pour in the funnel, will everything go through? Only the water. The animals stayed behind. I also have this really cool thing I found that when you put water in it, it spins. It's really cool. And I also have in here some little pinchers that I thought I would go hunting. Let's see what I can find in my water. I found a starfish. Whoops. I found a couple of things. I found oh my goodness, my animals are jumpy. I found a seahorse. What else did I find? Oh, I found a turtle. So I just happen to have some of these animals around my house that were my girls when they were little. You might have some. If you don't, just see what you can have. I bet mommy or daddy has a sponge in the kitchen you can put in the water and rinse out. So I might be taking this to the bathtub with me later and playing some more. You never know. All right. I got water splashed on my glasses. Okay, I have one more thing for you that Mrs. Balmer is going to add. This is not on your paper, but I thought this was fun. This is something I like to do with our class. I just drew a fish. I'm not an artist. Any old fish will do. And I got a piece of celery out of my fridge, and I'm going to paint my fish with the celery. And I have some paints here that I found in my basement. So I'm gonna dip in my celery into my paint, and I'm gonna go in here and paint little rows of paint on my fishy. It looks like scales on our fish. So this is kind of fun to do too. If you don't have paints at home, there's lots of good recipes online that you can make paint out of flour and different things that you have around your house. So maybe you want to try something fun like that too. All right, I think that's just about all I have for you guys for Ocean today. I do have one last book. It's one of my favorite books ever that I want to read to you, and it's called This Is Not My Hat. So we'll read that, and then that'll be all I have for now. I hope to see you all soon. After the book, I'm going to come back on and say bye, but I'm hoping you had some fun with our Ocean unit. The book we're going to read now is called This Is Not My Hat by John Clausen. This hat is not mine. I just stole it. I stole it from a big fish. He was asleep when I did it. And he probably won't wake up for a long time. Look, he's awake. And even if he does wake up, he probably won't notice that his hat is gone. Look at his eye. He's looking up. He knows his hat is gone. And even if he does notice it's gone, he probably won't know that it was me who took it. Look at his face now. Look at his eye. He looks angry. And even if he does guess it was me, he won't know where I'm going. But I will tell you where I'm going. I'm going where the plants grow big and tall and close together. It's very hard to see in there. Nobody will ever find me. There is someone who saw me already, but he said he wouldn't tell anyone which way I went. I think Mr. Crab saw him. Wonder if he'll tell. I think he told. He says, so I'm not worried about it. I know it's wrong to steal a hat. I know it doesn't belong to me, but I'm going to keep it. It was too small for him anyway, and it fits me just right. And look, I made it, where the plants are big and tall and close together. I knew I was gonna make it. Look, he barely is getting in the plants, and look who's right behind him. Nobody will ever find me. Do you see him in there? I sure don't. Looks like the fishy's coming back out. Wonder if he found him. Look on his head. And that's the end. Wonder what happened to our little fish who stole the hat. This Is Not My Hat by John Clausen. All right, boys and girls, I hope that you enjoyed This Is Not My Hat by John Clausen. This is one of Mrs. Balmer's favorite stories. I love it because you have to use your imagination to figure out how the story ended. What do you think happened behind all that tall grass and plants where no one can see? Use your imagination. I know what I think. What do you think? That's all I have today on oceans. I hope you do some of the things that we talked about and have some fun learning about ocean creatures. Tomorrow, Mrs. Lane will be on and talking to you about a little lesson on nature. So have fun with that too. Love you all. Miss you very much. See you later.